ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన NSR ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ NSR ఇంపల్స్. ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన NSR ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ NSR ఇంపల్స్.
Hello students, now let us continue our discussion with taxonomy. Taxonomy is nothing but the branch of science which deals with classification of organisms. Now as you know that very well, we were discussed about the three important systems. What are they? Artificial system of classification, second one is natural system of classification, and third one is phylogenetic system of classification. Now in this let us mainly speak about the next one, very important one, as we have discussed semi-technical description of floral parts. Semi-technical description of floral parts. Floral parts means what are the parts which are related? Floral parts of a flower. Floral parts of a flower. So for a flower, what are the floral characteristics which we are going to represent? Out of all floral characteristics, main floral characteristics as you know, K for calyx, C for corolla, calyx or itself we call it as sepals, right? And C is meant for sepals or petals or itself is called corolla. Main floral characteristics I am writing because last class we discussed already very clearly that BR bracteate, EBR, E bracteate, E whenever it is there, bracts are absent. BR means bracteate. What is bracteate condition? Flower with bracts. What is EBR? E bracteate means flower without bract. So we have discussed the symbols, symbolic representation, but out of all the floral parts when you take into consideration here, A is for androecium and G is for Gynecia. So main, these are nothing but main floral parts, right? So here apart from this, most commonly what we make use of this, as I told you here, BR means bracteate condition. So other conditions means vegetative characters or morphological characters, whatever we discuss. If you take BR means bracteate, EBR means E bracteate, meaning flower without bract. BR means bracteate, that is flower with bract. EBR means E bracteate, that is flower without bract, right? Then as we discussed for the last class, BRL meaning bracteoles, bracteolate, that means leaf-like elaborated structures which we find on the flower are called bracteoles, and if the bracteoles are present, it's called bracteolate, right? Similarly, EBRL, nothing but E bracteolate, meaning whenever this E is there, that says it is absent. Here bracteate means bracts are present, E bracteate means bracts are absent. So whenever the terminology E is there, that represents absence of bracts. Bracteolate and E bracteolate, right? This is, you know, bracteoles, leaf-like extended structures what we find are called bracteoles. E bracteolate is nothing but the leaf-like bracteoles are totally absent. So when you take the semi-technical description of the floral parts, now we have taken these semi-technical description. In this mainly we have taken floral formulas and floral diagram. Floral formulas and what we have is floral diagram. Now when we take the floral formula is nothing but, as we have discussed yesterday, what is that? Symbolic representation of symbolic representation of characters. Symbolic representation of characters. So what characters? As we have discussed, both morphological characters. Morphological characters are also called as vegetative characters. Along with the morphological characters, even we study what are called as floral characters. So apart from this, these are most commonly mentioned one. Then even we discussed that if you look at the characters, like if you take plus with symbol or plus with circle, this is referred as actinomorphic symmetry. This itself is referred as actinomorphic symmetry. What is that? Radial symmetry we say. A flower divisible into two equal halves in any plane of angle of division, it's called actinomorphic. Generally try to remember, actinomorphic means radial symmetry. Then what is represents is nothing but zygomorphic. Zygomorphic symmetry, it's nothing but bilateral symmetry. Then as we discussed for the last class, this symbol is for male, this symbol is for female, and when both are there together, then the symbol is for bisexual. So why I am writing these characteristics? Because these characteristics are very, very important. For any plant, for every plant, we have a specific floral formula. According to the floral formula, what we write in the form of symbols, that symbolic representation will make us to understand all the characteristics of a plant, mostly the floral characters. Among all characters, mainly we look for what? Floral characters. What is calyx, what is corolla, what is androecium, and what is gynoecium. That's why I have written again very, very clearly and very, very important. So apart from this, as I told you here, they may be free. Apart from this, if you look at, they may be free or united. If they are united, you have to represent with the help of a bracket, right? So if they are free, it's well and fine. If they are united, then you have to represent with the help of a bracket, right? Then apart from this, and even we have mentioned about cohesion, and even we have mentioned about what is called as adhesion. What is cohesion? Union of similar members. And what is adhesion? Union of dissimilar members. So when you take here, we write similar members, and adhesion meaning we write dissimilar members. So these are the things what we need to try to remember for floral formula. We have to remember for floral formula. Now let us take some examples for the floral formula. So here what we are discussing, we have to discuss two things: floral formula, and other things what we have to remember here is nothing but floral diagram. So we are representing two things, floral formula as well as what we have is nothing but floral diagram. Now if you look at floral formula, the best example, let us study now the example of, that is mustard. Mustard, its scientific name is Brassica. So Brassica is nothing but scientific name, and the common name is mustard. Okay, so Brassica, it's a scientific name, and mustard, it's a common name, and you know this belong to the family Brassicaceae. So this is nothing but name of the family. right. So when we take Brassica, Brassica is nothing but the scientific name and mustard is nothing but the common name, and try to remember it belongs to the family called as Brassicaceae. Now, so let us see now representation of floral formula. Now after we discuss about floral diagram, then I will give you the floral formula for Brassica. Now let us come to the discussion about floral diagram. Now what is very important to discuss in the floral diagram? Now this represents, floral diagram is nothing but diagrammatic representation of floral characters. Okay, diagrammatic representation of floral characters. So obviously as we have written, what are the floral characters which we have to remember? Calyx, corolla, androecium as well as gynoecium. Now these characteristics, it is possible for us to represent in the form of a diagram. We are not going to show all the characters, but we definitely are going to show the characters like what is the arrangement of calyx, what is the arrangement of corolla, what is the arrangement of androecium, and what is the arrangement of gynoecium. Calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Now these four, how they are arranged, that we can represent with the help of a diagram, and this diagram we can draw only for floral characters. So that itself is called as a floral diagram. Okay, so let us discuss about floral diagram, then I will come back to this example, because for this Brassica mustard, Brassicaceae, I will try to give you the floral diagram for Brassica, and under that we are going to write floral formula for Brassica. So first let us go with what is floral diagram. So just let me take more space to discuss about floral diagram, then again I will come back to the floral formula. Now when you look at the floral diagram, so I am coming from this part to this part. So what is meant by floral diagram? Now for example, if I take the plant, okay, so this is the root and all that. Now if you take the position of the flower, either you can draw up or you can draw down. So suppose for example, the flower, it's like this. Okay, this is nothing but a flower. Let us imagine. So you have the leaves like this. Now what do we say here? If at all, if you look at the position of the flower towards mother axis, meaning let us take more space in drawing the diagram. Let us take more space so that you can clearly see what I am talking. I mean what I am trying to explain you people. Suppose if you take, this is a plant. Okay, so here I am trying to draw the flower. Okay, this is the flower. Now when I take position of the flower, if I look at what are the things which we have to write? Position of the flower means a flower has two positions. What are the two positions? Posterior side, we have a posterior side, and anterior side. We have two, right? For any diagram, if you take any animal or any flower or any structure when you draw, we just look for posterior side and anterior side, or we say dorsal side and we say ventral side. Dorsal side, ventral side, posterior side, anterior side. Generally if you take position of the flower, we have posterior side as well as we have anterior side. So what are this posterior and anterior side? Now if you take position of the flower, this position of the flower means this side or angle, this position of the flower towards mother axis, towards mother axis. Now this is called posterior side. This is called as what? Posterior side. So which position of the flower is posterior side? The angle of direction of the flower position towards its mother axis, towards mother, this is mother axis. The stem itself is called mother axis because this contains branches, flowers, fruits, seeds. So the position of the flower itself is called as what? Mother axis. The position of the flower towards mother axis, it's called posterior side. Okay. Similarly, now if you look at the base of the flower, we find a bract. We find what is the structure, it's called as a bract. Now what do you say? The half position of the flower. Half position of the flower towards mother axis is called posterior side. Then the remaining half position of the flower towards bract, it's called anterior side. So here the position of the flower towards bract, it's called now anterior side. It's called as what? Anterior side. So I'll just give you two definitions. What is the position of the flower? So I just write the position of the flower towards mother axis, it's called posterior side. It's called posterior side. Right? That means what? The position is there towards mother axis. So if it is there on mother axis, then itself is called as posterior side. And try to remember, represented with a dot or a circle. Better I will write up. If you can't note down the points, then it's a very important point for all of you. So better I will write up later. This point I will try to cover up because it's an important point. Right. Now coming to anterior side. What is anterior side? So let me give you the statement here. So I am just writing for anterior side. The position of the flower, towards bract, it's called anterior side. It's called anterior side. The position of the flower towards bract, it's called anterior side. What is important? The position is important towards what? Towards bract. It's called as what? Anterior side. So if you look at here, look at this very carefully. Now the position of the flower towards mother axis, the position we are talking about, position of flower towards mother axis, it's called posterior side. The position of the flower towards bract, bract is where? Bract is opposite to mother axis. That means it is opposite to mother axis, away from mother axis. So here the position of the flower towards bract, bract is opposite to mother axis, and that is said to be what? Anterior side. So position, I am repeating again, this point is very very important. Position towards mother axis is posterior side, the position towards bract is anterior side. Right, that is what we have represented now. Now if you look at this, I think very clear. Now what we have written, position of the flower towards mother axis is called posterior side. The position of the flower towards bract is called anterior side. Now how do we represent them? Now if you look at, where do we represent this? So you people need to go down writing and here also you need to write down, but here no space. So after you write this definition, just keep an arrow mark, start writing down, but no space, I am writing up. So here in this, it is represented by a dot or circle. It is represented by a dot or a circle. So this is circle, right? So what is represented here? Posterior side is represented by a dot or circle, where you will represent above the floral diagram, above the floral diagram. Okay, above the floral diagram. So on the top of the floral diagram, it will be represented with a dot or a circle. What we are representing? A posterior side can be represented with a dot or it can be represented with a circle, where it is represented above the floral diagram. Now try to match with the sequence what I am writing here. So here what is posterior side? We are talking about position of the flower. What is posterior side here? The position of the flower towards mother axis is called posterior side. Where it is present, go down with the arrow mark. Instead of going down, I am just writing up. Represented by a dot or a circle. Where you have to put a dot or a circle? Above the floral diagram. That represents what? Posterior side. Right? Similarly, coming to anterior side. What we will write for anterior side? So here the position of the flower towards bract is called anterior side. So where it is represented, automatically it is represented down the floral diagram, down the floral diagram. Represented down the floral diagram. Above is posterior side, down the floral diagram, automatically you have to understand that is anterior side. Okay. So and down the floral diagram, try to remember that is called anterior side. Above the floral diagram, try to remember that is nothing but what we call posterior side. Right. Now if you look at floral diagram, that is very important. Now if you look at in floral diagram, we can represent the whorls like arrangement of floral parts, calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Now for floral diagram and for floral formula, what is the best example to study? Brassica. But try to remember, floral diagram represents floral characters. So here we mainly talking about position of the flower. What is posterior side? The most of the times, even if I say 10 times here, most of the time in weekend exam when multiple choice questions are there, most of the people they get confused here. Towards mother axis means they will write anterior side. No, the position of the flower towards mother axis is called posterior side. It should remember very thoroughly that point in your mind. How many times we say also in the weekend, most of the people will choose the wrong answer, right? So this is simple point, but you have to remember. Similarly, the position of the flower towards bract is called anterior side. Now posterior side can be represented with the help of a dot or with the help of a circle, and that is above the floral diagram. Whereas coming to anterior side is represented down the floral diagram. It can be represented down to the floral diagram. Down is anterior side, above one floral diagram is nothing but posterior side. So try to remember these points. So what is the example we are choosing now? Brassica. that is a scientific name. Common it is called as mustard, and very importantly you try to remember it belongs to the family Brassicaceae. I am just putting aside to draw the floral diagram. Now just I am drawing the floral diagram for Brassicaceae. So if you look at it will be like this. See the way how I am drawing the diagram. So these two I am drawing inner side. Okay, you can see completely this is outer side, this is outer side completely, and two are inner side, and again one more I am drawing completely outer side, right. So you don't need to put the curve here. Okay, let's draw some curve, that is it. Make a proper diagram, that is it. Okay, so this is nothing but what we call, this is nothing but outermost layer calyx. So when you write this, below this we will start writing the floral formula. So we just started writing the floral formula. Below this we are writing floral formula, and what I have drawn here is nothing but what? This is nothing but floral diagram. What I have drawn here is nothing but floral diagram. We just draw the floral diagram. Below the floral diagram we will just start writing the floral formula. Now what is the floral formula we are writing? We are writing for Brassicaceae, that too Brassica, common name is mustard. Then the floral formula is EBR. What is the meaning of EBR? EBR meaning, what is EBR? No bracteoles. Bracteoles are totally absent. EBR. The flower is without bracts. It is called EBR. Similarly, we write EBRL, meaning ebracteolate, meaning bracteoles are totally absent. So bracts are absent, it is called EBR. Bracteoles are absent, it is called EBRL. Then what is the thing we represent here? This is nothing but actinomorphic. What is the plus and circle says? Actinomorphic. Then followed by we write bisexual condition. Okay, so if both are present, these two symbols are present, then the condition is said to be as what? Bisexual. From here, nothings are very important. So first one I am taking here, it is nothing but K. What is K? K is nothing but calyx. Now in this floral diagram, now if you look at carefully, on the above the floral diagram, what we do now? We keep the dot, or you can keep circle. What is the dot or circle represents here? The dot represents, what it represents? Posterior side. Posterior side. Dot represents, it is posterior side. That means this is towards mother axis. Down the floral diagram we are not keeping any dot. So automatically what you will understand, down the floral diagram it is said to be anterior side. I hope now it is very clear, right? So if you look at above the floral diagram we kept the dot, or we can write simply a circle that represent this is a posterior side. This is flower. For this flower this is posterior side, that is towards mother axis, and down the floral diagram it is automatically represented as anterior side. Obviously if one is posterior side, opposite one is anterior side. Now in floral diagram what we are trying to represent here, now we have drawn outer whorl. This is the outer whorl, outer layer. So what is the outer whorl in case of floral diagram? Now if you take outer whorl in floral diagram, if you look at outer whorl is, means outermost layer is nothing but calyx, or itself we call sepal. Outer whorl is nothing but what? Calyx, or itself we call it as sepal. Now this is outer whorl. This is outer whorl. What is that outer whorl? Calyx. Calyx is represented with the symbol called K. Now I have written K. Now how many sepals are there? How many calyx are there? Look at in the floral diagram. 1, 2, 3 completely outer side. 2 are completely inner side and 2 are completely outer side. So what I will write? 2 plus 2. Down part is this. Yeah. So here this is towards inner side. See the end, terminal ends here. This terminal end says these are completely inner side. These terminal ends are also completely inner side. So there are 2 inner side. Enclosing them, 2 are completely, terminal ends are outer side and this is also outer side. That means 2 sepals are towards inner side, 2 sepals are towards outer side. So to represent that, 2 are in and 2 are out. So we are writing K is 2 plus 2. K is nothing but what? Calyx. So outermost whorl what you find is nothing but calyx or sepal. How many calyx and sepals are there? We have 4 calyx and sepal. Instead of writing K4, we are writing K2 plus 2. That is 2 are inner side and 2 are outer side. Got it? Right. Now let's go inner side. Let's go inner to this. Now if you take inner to this one, we find corolla. Let us take like this. Okay, just draw somewhat close to this because they are like petals. Yeah. Okay. So here altogether, how many petals are there altogether? How many petals are there? 4 petals. So what is the next one we say? C for corolla. This is outer whorl, or we say this is first whorl. Then what is the second whorl? Second whorl represent in a floral diagram. Second whorl represents corolla or nothing but what? Petals. So what is the symbol for this? C. What is the symbol for this? C. So I am writing here, this is nothing but C. Okay. Now how many petals are there? How many corolla are there altogether here? We have altogether 4 are there. How many are there? Altogether 4. 4 are equal. That is why I am adjusting the size. 4 look similar and equal in size. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many are there? 4 are there. So here 4 I am writing. Right? C means corolla. Corolla means we have petals. There are altogether 4 petals are there. Now in the floral diagram, what all you can see here, what all you can adjust here, after as soon as you see the floral diagram, you will come to know aestivation. See here, you will come to twisted or valvate aestivation. Right? So valvate is this, twisted is this. Right. So looking at the floral diagram, it is possible to see the aestivation. It is possible to study the aestivation. What is aestivation? Aestivation is nothing but the pattern of arrangement of calyx and corolla. It is called as aestivation. Right. Now it may be twisted, it may be what you call valvate, it may be descendingly imbricate. Right. So this all speaks about descendingly imbricate or vertically imbricate. Descendingly imbricate itself is for Fabaceae. Right. So here whorled phyllotaxy all we can see. Now apart from this, now let us go with the third whorl. What is the third whorl we say? Third whorl represents androecium, or itself we call it as stamens, represented with A. Now when you write with A here, so I will just draw here. So here I will just draw 2, 2. Here also you can draw 2, 2. But here I am drawing 1, here I am drawing 1. Okay. So what is the arrangement here? Next I am writing A. A is nothing but androecium. how many? 2 are of one size, right, and 4 are of other side. So the arrangement is 2 plus 4. 2 are in outer whorl or 4 are in inner whorl, or 2 are arranged in one whorl, one level up to one height, up to certain height. 2 stamens are single and next 2 stamens are together. So 2 stamens are in one whorl and 4 stamens are arranged in another whorl. So 2 we are taking single 2 and remaining 2 together they are arranged. So we write the arrangement as 2 plus 4. Okay. So here it says that 2 stamens are short. 2 stamens which are arranged in the inner whorl or outer whorl is short, they are short. 2 stamens are short and 4 stamens are long. And 4 stamens are long. So they differ in terms of their size. Differ in size. They differ in their size. 2 stamens are short and 4 stamens are long. So that's why we write the arrangement as A 2 plus 4, right. Then coming to the center one, if you look at, we have Gynecia. So this is Gynecia. Okay, so you have to draw ovary wall. Within that ovary is there, placenta is there, this is center flagella, and in that you find the arrangement of 2 ovules are together connected by ridge called placenta. So that represents what is called a gynoecium, right. So when you replace gynoecium, so here is a down bar says that is superior ovary. How many are there? How many carpels? This is one ovule, this is one carpel, this is another carpel, this is another ovule. How many locules? 2 locules, bilocular condition, 2 carpels. So here we write number as 2 and 2 are fused, so we keep it in bracket. So these 2 ovules are fused, joined, that is why they kept in bracket. So here the centermost whorl represent. So here we write the 4th whorl, or we say centermost whorl. What is that centermost whorl? Centermost whorl is nothing but gynoecium, right. What are the conditions of gynoecium? Now this gynoecium down bar says this is superior ovary, and there are 2 ovules, the number is 2 and 2 R means they are fused, 2 bracket means they are fused. Number of carpels means 2, 2 says they are bicarpellary, meaning 2 carpels are present. Bicarpellary means how many carpels? 2 carpels are present and they kept in the bracket. Bracket says they are joined, attached with other. So this is nothing but what we call floral diagram, and down we have written floral formula, right. So let us talk about semi-technical description, means partially with some characters we are trying to describe with the help of floral formula, with the help of floral diagram. So what is the example we have chosen? This floral diagram is for what? Brassica. So what the diagram we have drawn on the board, this is for Brassica. Brassica is a scientific name, mustard is a common name, belong to the family Brassicaceae. Okay, dot represents posterior side, opposite side is anterior side, posterior side is towards mother axis. Remember always this one, posterior side is towards mother axis, anterior side is towards bract. Anterior side is towards bract. Okay, very important. This is towards this. Now, coming to this floral formula, EBR means bracts are absent, EBRL means bracteoles are absent, plus with circle means actinomorphic. These 2 symbols are there means bisexual, and this calyx 2 plus 2. Here if you look at 2 are in outer whorls and 2 calyx are inner whorl. So it represented by K 2 plus 2, and corolla is 4 means how many petals? 4 petals are there. So this represents what? Aestivation, whether they show valvate aestivation or twisted aestivation. Then followed by this corolla 4 we have written, androecium 2 plus 2, that means 2 stamens are short and 4 stamens are long, 2 plus 4 arrangement. So they differ in size. Second whorl is corolla, outer whorl is calyx, third whorl is androecium. This is very important to remember, all of you. Mostly the questions will come from here, the possibility of getting questions from this. 2 are short on inner whorl, 2 are short on outer whorl, 4 are long arranged on inner whorl. So these 2 are single and these 2 4 together at one whorl, right. And gynoecium, centermost whorl is gynoecium, down bar says superior ovary, bracket indicates they are fused, 2 number represents they are bicarpellary. This is floral diagram. Seeing this floral diagram, we have written floral formula.
ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.